Fame can be hard to achieve and even harder to maintain. Sometimes it takes years and years to build a reputation, but only seconds to destroy it. Fans often flock to celebrities for their personalities and crazy antics, but at a certain point it can become difficult to defend them. In this increasingly polarized political climate, even your favorite stars are being held accountable for their over-the-top views or behavior, and they can lose all of their fan base. So let's get into it. I'm your host Bridget Shields, and here are the top 10 celebrities who became too extreme for fans. Number 10. Kanye West. The rapper has been hinting at his right-wing political views for quite some time, although at first he only received a little bit of pushback for his fashion choices, like when he wore a jacket with a Confederate flag on it in 2013, or when he wore a MAGA hat during a 2018 performance on SNL. But Kanye only made his politics clear 2 years later, when he announced that he was running for president and embarked on a campaign that included a rally stop in Charleston, South Carolina. At his only campaign event, he revealed that he was pro-life and said that to discourage the termination of pregnancies, people should be given $1 million per child that they have. While that was certainly controversial, his views weren't considered dangerous or extreme until this year, when he got locked out of his social media accounts for anti-Semitic tweets, and went on Fox News with Tucker Carlson and started spewing a series of conspiracy theories. As a result, Kanye is now being condemned by even some of his strongest supporters. Number 9. Cara Delevingne. The model seems to be on a bit of a downward spiral these days and continues to spark major concerns with a series of disheveled public appearances, but her behavior first started raising a few eyebrows last year when she was caught on camera attempting to lick rapper Azalea Banks while she was performing at Leah McSweeney's Halloween party. She was literally on her knees in front of her with her tongue out, trying to lick the entire length of her body. She then came under fire for her behavior at the Billboard Music Awards in May, where she appeared to be following Megan Thee Stallion everywhere. Several of the model's antics ended up going viral following the show, including her peering around a corner and licking her lips while staring at Megan as she posed for the photographers. Then footage from an after party earlier in the year resurfaced online, which showed Cara attempting to kiss Megan while they were on the dance floor, and Megan literally had to grab her shoulders and hold her back. It's safe to say that it all became a little bit too much for her fans. Number 8. Azalea Banks. With tongue-twisting lyricism, Azalea's debut single 212 was definitely one for the books. Pitchfork called it the 6th best song of the 2010s, and Billboard said that it defined a decade. The track was supposed to set her up for world domination, but these days Azalea's social media presence has created scandal after scandal, and the list of people that she has feuded with is so extensive that it has its own section on Wikipedia. For instance, she went on a huge rant on her Instagram story last year, insulting Doja Cat's looks and her music, saying Doja makes music for 10-year-olds and is very derivative. And yes, she looked terrible before she lost weight, but fans found it really hard to defend a disturbing video that she posted in early 2021 of her digging up and boiling a dead cat. Yes, you heard that right. She then went on an Australian radio show and said, "No, I didn't eat the cat, and I especially wouldn't eat a cat that's been dead for 3 months," as if that makes it any better. Number 7. Gwyneth Paltrow. In 2018, Gwyneth came under fire for pushing a drastic diet that she called a winter detox, which was an all-liquid diet consisting of 300 calories a day. Then, in 2021, the actress took to Instagram advertising a book called Intuitive Fasting. Immediately, people were lighting up the comment section criticizing the actress for continuing to promote starvation. By this point, she had angered everyone, especially nutritionists, health coaches, and personal trainers. But fans really started to turn against her after she founded the Goop Lab, which was just another way to push her lifestyle onto regular people. The website was heavily criticized for promoting questionable things like sprays and crystals that are meant to prevent mental manipulation by people, not to mention potentially dangerous supplements that were marketed to pregnant women. To sum it all up, a lot of people disliked how out of touch she was with ordinary people, despite trying to market her lifestyle onto everyone around her. And yes, there is such a thing as being too health conscious. Number 6. DaBaby. The 30-year-old rapper was making his mark in the music industry not too long ago, as he had only risen to mainstream prominence in 2019, but only 2 years later, in July of 2021, he lost most of his fan base by bringing his extremely views to his performance. DaBaby told the crowd at Rolling Loud that if they didn't show up with any that'll make them die in 2 to 3 weeks put a cell phone light in the air. In fact, he shouted many other questionable things at the crowd, mainly trying to hype them up with disparaging comments about gay men. Of course, his behavior quickly drew massive criticism online, and his attempt to clarify his views didn't help at all. He ended up digging himself deeper by saying that he wanted to uplift his gay fans who are disease-free. Naturally, DaBaby got ripped into by the LGBTQ+ community and a chorus of celebrities like Madonna, Elton John, and Dua Lipa. He's still making music, but his career has yet to fully recover from all the controversy. Number 5. Tom Cruise. The actor's infamous 2005 interview on The Today Show was so bad that it changed the way that he was perceived by the public forever. His arrogance was stifling when he got into a heated argument with Matt Lauer over prescription medication and the practice of psychiatry, which he called a pseudoscience. Tom said, "Here's the problem. You don't know the history of psychiatry. I do," and proceeded to tell Matt Lauer that there is no such thing as having a chemical imbalance in the brain, and that the only way to cure depression was vitamins and exercise. His appearance on the show came shortly after he publicly shamed Brooke Shields when she admitted that she used antidepressants to help with her postpartum depression. He said, "When someone says medication has helped them, it is to cope. It didn't cure anything. There is no science. There is nothing that can cure them whatsoever." At that point, no matter how much people liked Mission Impossible, it was difficult to ignore Tom Cruise's downright dangerous views. Number 4. Tyra Banks. There's no denying that she's a legend and an icon. Not to mention that America's Next Top Model was a TV phenomenon. Hundreds of young women tried out to be discovered on the show as the next big star in modeling. In the early years of the show, fans loved Tyra's tell it like it is attitude, even if it was a little mean. But in years following the show's ending, it started to gain traction again for Tyra's problematic views. During season 6, she told contestant Danny Evans that she would never become a model because she had a gap in her teeth, who ironically would later go on to win her season and model for top brands like CoverGirl and Sephora. In season 5, she told Kim Stoltz that she should tone down her gayness and essentially make it less obvious. There was also countless times that Tyra fat-shamed models even though it was well known that they were battling eating disorders. Over the years, even mega fans of the show could not stand by her abhorrent actions. Number 3. Bam Margera. MTV's Jackass set the stage for all the prank shows to come. The series transformed its cast of skateboarding delinquents and amateur stuntmen into genuine A-list superstars. Although the cast were beloved by fans for their hard partying lifestyle and extreme stunts, at some point one of their members, Bam Margera, went overboard. Many believe that his downward spiral began after the tragic death of his best friend Ryan Dunn, who was killed in a drunk driving incident in 2011. But sadly, while most of his fellow castmates have managed to live a sober life since the show ended, Bam's decades-long cycle of self-destruction and rehabilitation continues to make headlines. In fact, he was set to star in Jackass 4, but producers gave him an ultimatum: go to rehab first or you're out. And by February of 2021, he was officially booted from the production for refusing to abide by the rules. But there's a lot of fans still holding out hope that he'll be able to get the help he needs and turn his life around. Number 2. Tila Tequila. The reality star is still considered a MySpace icon, and her influence in the 2000s is undeniable. In fact, she was one of the first celebrities who was famous for being famous, and known for her outrageous persona. But in 2013, she finally crossed a line that led to her being blacklisted from mainstream outlets. Tila began using her social media platforms to publish anti-Semitic rants and spout conspiracy theories. She also attacked a number of Jewish public figures like Sarah Silverman and Ben Shapiro. Her words came back to haunt her in 2015 when she was booted from the show Celebrity Big Brother. In 2016, she doubled down on her alt-right leanings and attended a white nationalist event and posted about it on Twitter, which eventually got her account shut down. These days, Tila Tequila appears to maintain the same deeply troubling views. Though her Instagram account has been suspended due to hate speech, she spends much of her time evangelizing on her YouTube channel, where she claims that she is the hidden bride of Christ. Oh, and she also believes that the earth is flat. And coming in at number 1, Lars Von Trier. The acclaimed and controversial Danish director has a career spanning 4 decades and has undoubtedly left his mark in cinematic history. But his questionable comments beg the age-old question: can you separate the artist from the art? Fans completely turned against him at the Cannes press conference for his film Melancholia in 2011. He responded to an innocuous question about his German roots, and he went on a long, wandering riff that went from odd to straight up offensive, saying, "For a long time I thought I was a Jew and I was happy to be a Jew. Then I met Susanne Bier and I wasn't so happy." He went on to say that when he found out he was German, he was happy about it because he sympathized with you-know-who. Lars von Trier kept digging himself deeper and said that he wasn't in favor of 2, but it was already too late. The reaction was swift. Hours later, Cannes declared him persona non grata, and he was banned from the festival altogether. Well, that's everything that we have on the list for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.